what would you say to parents that they should do? Effectively get down on the floor with their child with just
Yeah,
some very
and
simple things and just
absolutely.
observe and watch and try and
Yes,
interact with them.
I absolutely right, Lara. I think, sometimes we're always trying to, we'll give our children a biscuit and you'll say, what's this? And you're always asking for them to label things. What's this? It's the dog. What's this? It's a tree. But sometimes the best thing to do is for us to model what we're doing. So I might pick up my glass and say, oh, I've got my glass. Might say it in a Yorkshire accent, but hey, hey. So, I will model the words because children learn by copying.
Mm-hmm.
That's why our children, yours and mine, Lara, they speak English. A mum or a dad in a different country, they will speak the language of that country because children model what they hear.
Mm-hmm.
So we are always modeling and giving time and pausing. On the floor is great, in the bed, on a trampoline, wherever you are, it's an opportunity. And today I've been out for a walk and there were lots of acorns and conkers on the floor. You can pick those up side by side with your child as they're picking the conker up or the acorn. You can label it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the best way of doing it. And then you've got one the same. You might start to roll it around your hand, or you might throw it, or you might catch two of them. So numbers come into place. You might see colours. You can do shapes. You can do mine and yours. It's anything can become a language opportunity. So yeah, just get out there and have fun.
I know you are so passionate about the subject and it really, really comes through. And this is why I wanted you on the podcast, because there are some
Thank
very simple things that
you.
parents can do. And I think, it's also the emotional connection side, because when a child doesn't speak, sometimes it can be on a level of frustration for that parent that you can never really understand until you've experienced it yourself. And
Absolutely.
you really don't know how, and you don't think that they can communicate with you. You don't believe that they are listening and taking things in, but they do. And they also
Absolutely.
react to your own emotions too. So if they
Yes.
are feeling your disconnection from them, that's also something that needs to be thought about in terms of your relationship with your child.
Truly, truly it is. Yes, it is having that relationship. And sadly, not all relationships are the same. Sometimes you just don't
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult because there's a huge grief as well that my little one isn't ticking those
Hmm.
boxes. And there's a real loss. I don't think when we're having our children, you think anything than it's gonna be fine
Yeah.
because
I know.
that's what you do, and all of a sudden it isn't fine. And certainly when you start to compare, you go out with your friends and little one is the other one is doing something fantastic, and all of a sudden yours isn't behaving, so you're defending or you're sort of on edge all the time
Hmm.
because you feel embarrassed and sad. All these emotions as a mum and a dad come into play as well. And that's where you have your real friends around you who will support you and, give you time and understand, and that you have a little one with special gifts as well. Because truly, I tell you, I have had some beautiful children who have taught me so much. There was one little person and he was completely nonverbal. And we sorted some switches out, some head switches, so he could move his head to operate a little communication device. And we didn't realise, we always had music in the background. And through the yes and no switches, we figured out actually he hated the music in the background. He
Oh,
wanted some
really?
heavy rock. Oh,
Brilliant.
yeah, he wanted heavy rock stuff. And he was starting to tell us some pretty naughty things about his gorgeous mum and whether or not she liked a red wine or a white wine at night. And so when his mum came in and we said, oh, like that red wine, do you? She was shocked because he
Yeah.
was taking all this in.
Mm.
And we must never, ever underestimate our children, what they're taking in. I think with children who are neurodiverse as well, their language isn't, it's not always clear. So you may get a child who may say something like, do you want a biscuit? And you think, do you want a biscuit? But because they've only ever heard someone say to them, do you want a biscuit? The biscuit becomes a do you want a biscuit? So the whole label for the biscuit changes.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely, we used to use a nice system called SCERTS, which is social communication, emotional regulation, transactional support. So SCERTS, SCERTS, which was designed by a lady called Emily Rubin et al. And in her book, there's a little boy who doesn't speak very much at all, but he goes to his mum and he says, do ah. Do ah, said his mum. They could not figure out what do ah meant, except somebody then said, oh, but every time you ask him if he's poorly, you say to him, do ah, so he can open his mouth to show you what's at the back of his
Ah.
throat. So he was saying to his mum, do ah, meaning I've got a poorly throat or I'm not well. There's something, so all the language is there. It's just a puzzle and we have to work it out, what they mean by these things. So there's a lot to follow your child, watch your child, watch other people playing with along your child and just think, gosh, they are amazing at doing that, or they're particularly good at puzzles and things like that. Follow them. If that's what they love to do, go alongside them. Don't try and make them play your games because they're boring, but you go into their world and they will suddenly start to engage with you, I think.